Ferrari has finally pulled the covers off their 2026 Challenger, and the SF-26 might just be the most important car the Scuderia has built in decades. After a disastrous 2025 campaign that saw the team finish fourth in the Constructors' Championship without a single race victory, Ferrari has bet everything on this new machine. They stopped developing last year's car early to pour all their resources into 2026, and now we get to see whether that gamble will pay off. The SF-26 represents Ferrari's response to the biggest regulation change Formula One has seen in years. New power units, new chassis rules, new aerodynamics, new tyres, and new fuels all come together in a package that looks genuinely different from anything we have seen before. But beyond the obvious visual changes, there are some fascinating technical choices hidden beneath that famous red bodywork that could either propel Ferrari back to the front of the grid or leave them scrambling to catch up. Let us start with the power unit, because this is where Ferrari has made some of their boldest decisions. The 2026 regulations eliminate the MGU-H, boost the MGU-K to 350 kilowatts, and mandate a 50-50 split between electrical and combustion power. Every manufacturer has had to completely redesign their engines, and Ferrari has taken a particularly innovative approach. The most striking feature is their use of steel cylinder heads instead of the aluminum alloy that has been standard in Formula One for years. Steel is heavier than aluminum, which might seem like a disadvantage in a sport where every gram matters. But steel can withstand much higher temperatures and pressures, which allows Ferrari to run more aggressive combustion parameters. The theory is that the power gains from this approach will more than compensate for the small weight penalty. With Ferrari making such unconventional choices on their power, including steel cylinder heads and a unique combustion approach, do you think they have found a genuine performance advantage? Or are they taking unnecessary risks that could backfire spectacularly? One particularly interesting detail is the suspension design. Ferrari has adopted a pull rod front suspension and push rod rear suspension configuration. This is the same layout that Red Bull used during their dominant years, and it offers advantages in terms of aerodynamic packaging and weight distribution. The pull rod front suspension allows for a lower nose and cleaner airflow, while the push rod rear provides good mechanical characteristics. Reports suggest that Ferrari has also positioned some of their battery cells in front of the driver rather than behind. If true, this could have positive implications for the centre of gravity, as keeping mass low and centralised is crucial for handling. However, it also presents packaging challenges and could affect crash safety structures. Now let us talk about what the key figures at Ferrari have said about their new car. Team principal Fred Vasseur described the SF-26 as the beginning of a new era for both Formula One and Ferrari. He acknowledged that the combination of new chassis regulations, new power unit regulations, new fuels, and new tyre sizes inevitably brings unknowns, but emphasised that the team is aligned and more united than ever. Technical director Loic Serra, who joined Ferrari from Mercedes, highlighted the extensive work done during the concept phase to capture as much as possible of the new regulatory and technical context. He stressed that ensuring the car's architecture would allow enough flexibility for in-season development was a key priority. This suggests Ferrari is not expecting to nail everything perfectly from the start, but believes they have built a platform that can be improved throughout the year. Charles Leclerc spoke about the many new systems that need to be understood and optimized, emphasizing that energy management and the power unit will be among the most significant aspects of driving in 2026. He described it as a fascinating challenge that will require drivers to adapt quickly, relying more on instinct initially and then increasingly on precise data as understanding develops. Lewis Hamilton called the 2026 season the biggest regulation change he has experienced in his entire career, which is remarkable for a driver who has been through multiple regulation overhauls. Hamilton emphasized that being involved from the very start in the development of such a different car has been a particularly fascinating challenge. He described working closely with the engineers to help define a clear direction for the car, and stressed that the driver will play a central role in energy management and understanding the new systems. But here is where things get concerning. Ferrari's preparation for 2026 has not been smooth. Reports emerged that the chassis was only approved at the last moment, with the car being assembled just one day before the official launch. The team also skipped the first day of the Barcelona test, which raised serious questions given how important track time is with completely new regulations. During the shakedown at Fiorano, footage emerged of the SF-26 stationary, on track with staff running towards it, sparking fears of reliability issues before the season has even begun. While Ferrari downplayed the incident, it added to the narrative of a team that is not as prepared as it should be. The context of Ferrari's 2025 season makes all of this even more worrying. It was a disaster by any measure. The team finished fourth in the Constructors' Championship without a single victory. Hamilton endured his first podiumless season in Formula One history. The decision to stop developing the 2025 car early to focus on 2026 was supposed to pay dividends, but if the SF-26 is not competitive, that sacrifice will have been for nothing. Ferrari also faces the challenge of integrating Hamilton into the team. His race engineer Riccardo Adami has been removed, and Hamilton will work with an interim engineer while the team figures out the best long-term solution. That is not ideal preparation for a season where everything is new, and communication between driver and engineer will be crucial. The contrast with Mercedes is stark. While Ferrari was scrambling to get their car ready, Mercedes completed 67 trouble-free laps at Silverstone during their shakedown, covering almost 200 kilometers. They looked organised, prepared, and confident. Ferrari looked like a team still putting out fires. Yet, despite all of this, there are reasons for cautious optimism. The technical innovations on the SF-26 are genuinely impressive. The steel cylinder heads could be a masterstroke if they deliver the power gains Ferrari is hoping for. The suspension design follows proven concepts from the most successful teams of the previous era. And having both Hamilton and Leclerc provides Ferrari with arguably the strongest driver lineup on the grid. The next few weeks will tell us a lot. Barcelona testing is underway, followed by 2 sessions in Bahrain. By the time the cars line up in Melbourne for the first race in March, we will have a much clearer picture of where Ferrari stands. But right now, the SF-26 represents both Ferrari's greatest hope and their biggest gamble. They have thrown everything at this car, made bold technical choices, and bet their future on a completely new approach. If it works, 2026 could be the year Ferrari finally returns to championship. If it does not, the questions about the team's direction will only grow louder.